Chip Roy brings in Dan Bongino, and Dan Bongino completely goes off on Trump's security detail. This is John Mike Keene. Are you nervous? I'm a little nervous for the president. Dan Bongino is scared too.
4 years of doing protective intelligence investigations with the Secret Service interviewed probably hundreds of people who have credibly threatened our protectees. I've never seen anything like it. If you would have told me it was a 60-year-old guy who had lived most of his life without a computer and for the last 10 years had been planning this, hard to believe but digestible. You're telling me a 20-year-old kid who's grown up in the digital era figured this out when he was, 13? To never get an online presence? We've seen nothing. Nothing. We're now 6 weeks in. There's not a Facebook photo.
Bongino's revealing that Crooks, the shooter, has no online presence at all, which just defies belief. I mean, every person who's ever been on Google has a bigger online presence than him. Are you telling me he's never done a search in his life? It defies logic and reason. And then this creates conspiracies. So I don't like conspiracies, but this is where they come from.
You know, it's incredible. We know every single thing about these shooting incidents when there's a political narrative to be had by the media and the other side. We do. You know who their high school girlfriend was. Sadly, you know everything about these people. We know nothing about this guy. And sophisticated explosives, we have this massive law enforcement bureaucracy. No one's got him with an online search history at a library saying, how do I build this? He's 20 years old.
Dan Bongino has enough experience to know he smells a rat, something's up. And when the political ideology, it's being hidden, of course, because if he was on the right, we would all know about it. That's how you know he's on the left or centrist or whatever. They would only reveal it if he was on the right.
It just defies logic. I can tell you, again, 4 years doing these exact investigations, never, ever seen or heard anything like this in my life.
It smells like a cover-up. I'm not announcing it, guys. I hate speculation and I hate conspiracies. But there's no other explanation for how this guy's whole life got memory hold.
Listen, let's just get right to the point. This was an apocalyptic security failure. A man was murdered in front of his family. 3 people were shot on live television, including...
Just to recap, the media is not allowed to talk about this incident anymore. They can talk about JFK assassination attempt and RFK's, father and all that, but not Trump.
But they have 3 institutional problems, I believe, in the macro will help us get to the bottom of how this Secret Service apocalyptic failure won't happen again. First, they have a technology problem. The joke in the Secret Service, which is just sadly no longer funny when I was there, and it wasn't funny then either, is they rely on yesterday's technology tomorrow. Think about that. Yesterday's technology tomorrow. Everything from computer systems that waste agents' times, filling out time and attendance records they were doing, to Congressman Crane and I discussing the fact that they only implemented slings, a technology as old as the wheel, about, 5 or 6 years into my time in the Secret Service, which is embarrassing. The weaponry was old, everything was old. These are things I would have talked about sooner if they didn't create a security crisis, and I obviously didn't want to air them publicly. Now you're seeing what happens when you don't have a drone up at a site you could have bought for $39.99 on Amazon.
That was weird. They could have bought, I have a $30 drone. They could have taken camera pictures of the top of that warehouse and they didn't. That is just beyond belief.
Another adage in the Secret Service, you've heard even the new acting director discuss, is the more with less approach. There is no more with less, there's less with less, okay? The Secret Service more with less approach only works if you produce more. That's how capitalism works. You produce a flat screen TV that was probably 20 years ago, $10,000. It's $200 at Walmart now. They produce a better TV with less. That's not what the Secret Service did. They produced less with more. They were given more money and produced less. A 20-year-old criminal outsmarted them on a $40 drone technology piece of device. You're telling me that's more with less? That's disgusting. That's nothing with less. That's less with more. Their budget went up. You guys know you're appropriators. You know that.
And they say that they're working leaner and harder and smarter and all that. And he's going, no. You got to get more. More is more. Not just more money, but more. He wants more results.
The investigative mission, the Secret Service, that they're telling you they need to make them better agents is total crap. That's garbage. Their agents are talented, smart people. They can figure out how to do protection without running out cheap $20 counterfeit notes at 7-Eleven on a Friday night while the president's getting shot in the head. How is it we have a DEA, we have an FBI, we have TIGTA, the IRS, CBP, and 1,000 other entities with a $6 trillion budget?
They have so much money, all of these investigations. Hey, try not paying your taxes one year and watch how well these people find you. They'll find you. You'll be walking down a dock in Fiji, and some guy will come up out of the water in a frog suit and arrest you and subpoena you if you don't pay your taxes.
Mr. Bongino, in your opinion, is the Secret Service in a better spot today with Director Rowe in charge?
No, it's worse. And sadly, I'm glad this is all being recorded, because when something else happens, and I hope it doesn't, I pray to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that I'm wrong. That you play this and go, look, that guy was crazy. You think this is the last incident, you're out of your mind.
We know now that threats have already been going up around Trump. And what is the Secret Service doing about it? No one's been fired.
These are the same people. Kim Cheadle, the director, wasn't even fired. She was allowed to resign. She'll go get some cushy job somewhere, and her deputy, who is one of the guys behind these stupid waste of time things like agents wearing red ties on the detail, because this actually happened, by the way.
That just goes to show how unserious they are about this problem. Look how serious they were over other things when they put up razor wire fencing around the White House. Because it's Trump and they've removed RFK security detail, they are not serious when it comes to other people. They don't want to project that these people are important enough to even protect.
These people will tell you this on the road if you get the right people. He was concerned about the tie color of the agents on the detail because it seemed to imply he supported President Trump. Congressman Biggs wearing a red tie. You're wearing a semi-red tie. It has nothing to do with anything.
The guy in command right now of the Secret Service said that he didn't want the agents wearing a red tie because it looked like they supported Trump. That's moronic.
This is the kind of stuff the Secret Service was actually wasting their time with while withholding CSU counter surveillance assets and counter sniper assets from probably the most threatened man on earth. If you can explain it, good luck, because that's not the agency I worked for.
Well, I can't explain it, and he's right. The agents themselves are good guys, but the agency is corrupt. It went woke, and when it goes woke, your merit and results go through the floor. I'm John Mike Keene.